8 mice, a perfect world. 5 years later, every single one of them was dead. No disease, no predators, unlimited food, unlimited water, no threats of any kind. And not a single death could be explained by anything a doctor could diagnose. This is Universe 25, and it is widely considered the most disturbing experiment ever conducted on any living society in history. In 1968, an American scientist named John Calhoun had spent his entire career completely obsessed with one single question. What actually happens to a society when nothing is hard anymore? When every single struggle is completely removed from daily life? He had been chasing that answer for 2 full decades, 24 separate experiments before this one. Barns, forests, laboratory rooms, rats, mice. It didn't matter what he changed. Every single version ended the same way. Population explodes. Violence spikes. Reproduction collapses. The mothers fail. 24 times in a row, it ended in collapse. The 25th was meant to be the final proof. He built it inside a federal research lab in Maryland, a 9-foot square metal enclosure with no way out. Small apartments stacked along every wall, all connected by wire mesh tunnels running from the floor to the ceiling. Calhoun called them walk-up apartments, each one fed by hoppers that could never run empty. He calculated the space could support 3,800 mice at once. It would never come close to that number. Day 1. 8 mice placed carefully inside. 4 males, 4 females. And then the lid closed above them. For the first 104 days, almost nothing happened. They explored. They figured out who was who. Then the first litters were born, and the population began to double every 55 days. By day 315, more than 600 animals were packed inside a space designed to hold only 8. They climbed over each other on the ramps, slept in tangled piles, fought for every last inch of space. This was the moment everything began to fall apart. What followed would disturb Calhoun deeply. In a normal colony, when the space fills up, the young males simply leave and find new territory. But inside Universe 25, there was no new territory. There were walls on every side, no way out. Young males with nowhere to go and no role to fill began drifting toward the center of the enclosure. Calhoun would stand above the enclosure and stare down at them for hours. They did absolutely nothing. No fights to win, no females to court, no territory to defend, no family to raise, nothing to do. When one of these mice got attacked, it would not fight back. It absorbed the hit and walked away. But not every male went quiet. A second group formed at the opposite extreme of the spectrum. These mice were frantic and indiscriminate. They moved faster than any other mouse in the colony. They forced into nests other males were defending, and they skipped every courtship ritual that existed. They could not be stopped even by violence from the most dominant males. Something had broken inside them. And in the worst pockets of the colony, behaviors appeared that no mouse society had ever produced. Calhoun observed something he called the behavioral sink, a disturbing pattern forming around the food supply. Even when food was available everywhere, the mice compulsively crowded around just a handful of feeders. The presence of others had become so wired into their feeding instinct they were unable to eat alone. Meanwhile, the females who couldn't find a place in the social order retreated to the highest apartments. They stopped interacting with males. They stopped reproducing. They sealed themselves off and withdrew from everything. And the mothers still trying to raise their baby mice began to fail in a much darker way. The males who had claimed territory grew exhausted from constant defending and stopped protecting their families. The mothers had to defend the nest and nurse their young at the same time. That pressure broke them. They began turning on their own young, abandoning them in scattered spots across the enclosure floor. Some mothers stopped recognizing which baby mice belonged to them. Others stopped recognizing them as theirs entirely. In some sections, fewer than 1 in 20 newborn mice survived to reach weaning age. Calhoun wrote that by this point, the social fabric of the colony was effectively dead. The bodies were still alive and moving, but the structure that held them together as a species was not. The baby mice that survived grew up with no model of what a functioning life looked like. The males of this generation never fought, never tried to mate, never engaged in any social behavior. They ate, they slept, and they groomed themselves obsessively. Their fur stayed absolutely perfect. They moved through the colony as if no other mouse existed, like perfectly groomed ghosts among the living. Calhoun named them the beautiful ones. From the outside, they looked like the healthiest mice in the colony. But they were also the last generation this colony would ever produce. They would never reproduce. Not once. Day 560. The population peaked at 2,200 mice. That number would never increase again. The last conception inside Universe 25 happened on day 920. After that, no new mice were ever born. The colony aged. The beautiful ones kept grooming. The isolated females never moved. Violence continued in pockets. No purpose behind any of it, just habit, just noise. And one by one, the remaining mice died quietly of old age, with no replacements behind them. On May 23, 1973, the last mouse in Universe 25 died, 4 years and 10 months after Calhoun closed the lid. Calhoun said the mice died twice. First the spirit, then the body. When the paper came out, the world landed on one lesson: comfort kills, abundance destroys, struggle is necessary. But that was never Calhoun's conclusion. His real answer had been sitting in the paper the entire time. His conclusion: if individuals capable of filling meaningful roles exceed the roles available, collapse follows. The killer was never comfort. It was the disappearance of meaningful roles. That is what the data showed. The food never ran out. The water never ran out. What ran out was any reason to participate. Calhoun was not a doomer. He spent the rest of his life trying to find what you put back in. He believed humans could choose differently. The way out, he wrote, is to keep making new reasons to be here.